All right, Blaine, I was looking at roughly the top 30 to 40 players in the nation. And unless they've committed to Ohio State, they're pretty much looking at a bunch of SEC schools is pretty much what the breakdown is. And whether it's Walter Nolan or Shamar Stewart, Anaya White, Keon Sapp, a ton of guys that we've discussed over the past couple months, what has caught your eye in regards to where some of these leans, the status of these leans currently, and then projecting toward the future? What do you expect to be some of the storylines here in the next several weeks?
I really expect that people are underestimating the fact that Alabama and Georgia specifically, when you talk about SEC recruiting, people a lot of times panic and they think, oh, Alabama and Georgia don't have the number of commits that they need to have at this point and things like that. People need to understand that Kirby Smart and Nick Saban even more so than Kirby Smart, they are recruiting from a position of power. They understand that even if they're shooting for the absolute top of the top, these 5-star prospects, and even if they miss out on a couple of them, they're going to have scholarships available that they can go and they can flip someone from somebody else's school that would gladly come take that spot at Georgia or at Alabama. And people don't need to freak out and think that Georgia and Alabama aren't going to finish in the top 3 in the country, because I guarantee you both will be there by the time this recruiting class is over with. It maybe 4 or 5, depending on Oklahoma and Ohio State, as you mentioned, are having just absolutely torrent runs right now through recruiting. And Oklahoma especially picking up a ton of guys on the 4th of July. But Georgia and Alabama are going to be just fine when it comes to recruiting. And also Florida, Miami, those schools are going after a lot of the same guys as well. And this could be Dan Mullen's make or break recruiting class right here.
Yeah, it's interesting because Ohio State's always right there, but Oklahoma having an especially strong year. They're usually in the 8 to 10 range, but they are vying for the top right now. But of course, it's mid-July, and we shall see how things play out. But yeah, I am not concerned about Alabama and Georgia, that's for sure. Blaine Gilmer on the line. You can catch him on Recruiting Every Second. Anything else we need to know?
Just know that when it comes to late July, that when it opens back up, watch the visits there, because whoever's able to get some of if with Anaya White, as you mentioned, Georgia, Ohio State, if Georgia is able to get Anaya White back on campus and Ohio State's not, that could be huge, of course, for Georgia. Georgia does a better job with on-campus recruiting than just about any school in the country. So that could be a huge example for them. A guy like Kamari Wilson, does he go back to LSU, or does he go down to Miami again to come back up to Georgia? Where is that IMG 5-star safety going to go at the end of July? And also, who starts to get some of these 2023 quarterbacks? Because look at that going into the fall, because quarterbacks are always very, very early. And I know where everybody's focusing on the class of 2022 right now, but with 2023, when do some of these quarterback dominoes start to fall? And you've already seen Eli Holstein commit to Texas A&M. So there's some big pieces out there that are going to be starting to take shape here soon.
Excellent stuff, as always, from Blaine Gilmer, Recruiting Every Second. You see his Twitter handle right there, bgilmer18. Got to track him right there. And otherwise, Blaine, people can go to what audio platforms to be able to find your podcast?
I mean, all you need to do is search Recruiting Every Second on either Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and also the on Art19 is where the show is hosted at over there. So you can catch it all there, or like Mark said, just follow me on Twitter. I posted each and every new episode over there.
Awesome, Blaine. We appreciate you stopping by as always.
Thank you, Mark.